Hi guys, thank you for tuning in. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time, you're welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate. Thank you for the love so far on my other videos. I really appreciate. You guys are the real MVP. See, this journey is yes, it's my journey, but it has become a purpose. Yes, please ensure you share to people. Let this video get to people who are newly bereaved or who has been bereaved, who are here to heal. Please help me send it to them. Let them see, let them know that there is hope for them. There is hope for them. If I can come out of it and find a purpose in it, then you too can come out of it and find a purpose in it. Thank you. God bless you. Yes. On today's video, as the title implies, it is story time, and it is how God used my in-laws to help me find purpose in my pain. From the last video I shared, the story on how I became a single mom. Yes. Okay, if you have not watched it, please kindly click the link up here or here. Yes, thank you, so that you can get along with the storyline. Thank you, and God bless you. Okay, so right at the hospital, after meeting everybody, the whole of his family came around, and I was just in a place still thinking of what has really gone wrong, still still in the shock of if he was truly dead or not. Okay, so immediately my in-laws, my late husband's elder brother was around, this elder sister was around, and one of their family, 2 or 3 of their families were also around at the time. So they had meeting immediately and asked me to go back to the house with my late husband elder sister to get some of my stuff out of the house with my son, that I would not be able to stay there. Oh, okay, well, no problem. At this point, I didn't even think of anything. Like, all I was just thinking about was, is it true? Would he have died? Like, just like that? So I and my late husband elder sister, we went back to our house. On getting to our house, I had to go to the shop first. That's where the key to the house is, and then people had been expecting me to come back, so I went back. We first went to the shop to get some things to see. Okay, I forgot to mention that while I was still at the hospital, I had already called my son's school. I called the head teacher there to explain what had just happened to her, and to let my neighbor in shop, my shop neighbor, to help me take my son to the shop. So they already allowed her, and my son was already with my neighbor in the shop. So I got to the shop, I carried my son, then I and my late husband elder sister went to the house. Then so at that point, I didn't know what to pick exactly, to pick, because I didn't even know what to expect. I didn't know how to react. So what I did was to pick some of my son's stuff, things I feel he will need, like diapers and some of his clothes for changing. So I took all those, then we left to my mother-in-law's house. On getting to my mother-in-law's house, I already told you, if you really watch my video on how I became a single mom, I already explained that I went to the market. So from there, okay, I already said I don't have enough money on me. I don't have enough money on me didn't mean that I didn't really have money, but you understand. So I still have little change on me. So on getting to my mother-in-law's house, my son was already hungry. He needed to eat. So some persons came to me and said, he wants to eat, that what are the kind of food he eats, and I told them Indomie and egg would be okay for him. So they collected. My mother-in-law has a shop in front of her house where she sells petty provisions. So they gave I don't know, somebody bought collected indomie and egg from them, and guys, they collected money from me. It's funny, right? Yes, my husband's stepfather collected money from me. Egg, I bought egg and indomie for my son. They collected money, I paid, yes. So I cook the indomie and the egg for him. He ate. Okay, so after eating, we're still in the bwahaha of he died, Tayo died, Tayo has died, what happened. These people, I mean my in-law, I didn't know when they had their meeting. I didn't know what was on their mind. Probably they were calling themselves on the phone. I didn't know. So then it was night and we couldn't sleep. We were just there. My son was just crying. Mind you, my son was just a year and 8 months, a few days then. So he was just crying, everybody trying to persuade him, because someone he has been seeing is not seeing him. He didn't even know how to react as young as he was. I believe he knew what was going on, because he just kept on rubbing my head, telling me, "Mommy, sorry," as little as he was, the way he could express himself. He knew that mommy was crying. So he came to me and he was bidding me sorry, saying sorry to me, as he could. So on the next morning, they had a meeting that we will need to move out on time to go to our own house, because that's where he was going to be buried. So mind you, while they were doing their own, on my own, I was already trying my mom's number, trying my brother's number, trying every of my family members' number. Hey, yummy. The numbers weren't going through. Like, she won't run on people you see me. Why would all of their lines be off? For crying out loud, I'm dying here. Like, something bad has happened, something tragic has happened, and I need to communicate to you people. But lo and behold, I couldn't get in touch with anyone throughout that night. So very early in the morning, we set out to go to our house, while some people also set out to go to the mortuary. On our way going, I recall that I called my church at that time, because my husband was a member of the workforce in the church. So I wanted the member of the workforce to conduct the burial. So I had already informed one of my late husband's friend that I knew to please help me contact them in church about how it's going to happen. I gave them the information and everything, and they tried their best. Oh, they really tried their best. They kept on calling me, asking how I was, asking me not to fret, asking me not to cry. You understand? So while all those were going on, I gave them the address to the place, and they were all on their way in no time. So in no time, we got to our house and everyone came down. I opened the house and we all sat down. The first question my sister-in-law asked me was, where does he keep money? You are surprised. It shocked me too. That, where does he keep money? Then I told her, I don't know. That's the house. You can start checking. Within few minutes that we got there, I noticed that they started removing our television. They started removing things. They started bringing out things. I just saw funny movements from my co-wife. Like, that's my husband's elder brother. The wife was there. So she was the one packing. And my mom used to have a daughter in the area, like area daughter, that seems to be a daughter to her, So she too was also around, and she and all other persons, they were all packing stuff. Like, if they don't pack it, thieves might come to steal it, because there won't be anybody to be staying here. In my head, I'm like, there won't be anybody to stay as well. I'm here now, why? But I couldn't ask questions. So, but all I noticed was they were chatting each other on phone. If they want to receive any call, they will run out to receive call. So while all those were going on, it was already in the afternoon. They brought the corpse, and all I did all I did that day, I called a photographer. As if I knew what was going to happen. I called the photographer, please snap us. Snap me and my son in front of the house and snap the car. You understand? So they had already packed few of the things they wanted to pack into the car, waiting to zoom off. My sister-in-law even asked me, she had the guts to ask me that, can they carry my wedding gifts? Because I still kept them in the room. I had not opened any of them. So she was asking me if she could pack it. I said, no, don't pack it. My co-wife asked me where his wedding suit was. I showed her. She told me that was the suit they wanted to use to bury him. I showed her where the suit was. By the time they brought the corpse, to cut the long story short, they didn't wear the suit for him. Yeah, that one. They didn't wear the suit for him. It was only white cloth that was wrapped on him, and I didn't see anything. So, you know, I had already called our church officials. They were already there, but unknown to me that my brother-in-law had, you know, I gave them, when they saw that the way I was crying was too emotional, so I gave my church officials my brother-in-law's line so that they can be communicating, because they kept on saying we must get the death certificate. So I told them I wasn't the one in charge of the certificate, that it was my brother-in-law that was in charge. So they had to collect his contact so that they could be communicating and to tell him the necessary things they would need to carry on for the burial and other necessary documentation. My brother-in-law blast them. He blast them to all fuck off, that who are they to his brother, that how can they be asking him, how can they want to know more than him, that the person in question, the corpse in question, was his brother. So they all stepped back. They didn't want to trespass too much. So by the time they brought the corpse, they had already arranged for a pastor. The pastor did all he wanted to do, and they did the funeral in no time, and that was all. I did my dust to dust crying. So that was all for that. Then it was time for us to leave. I didn't know it was going to be that soon. So all I heard was, okay, let's go. I already told some of the people around me then that, please, as soon as we are done going, please help me lock the door and give me the key. So while they were locking the door, I heard my brother-in-law saying, who said you should collect the key? Does the house belongs to her? She does not have any right over this house. Right there, immediately. So I told them that they should tell him that the key I used to open the door has my shop key there. So he should give me the key to remove my shop key. So he brought the key. I removed the key to the house for him. I gave that one to him. Then I took the other keys, and that was how I left the house. I left the house March 8th, 2019 without anything. When I say anything, when I say I left with nothing, when I say nothing, I mean nothing. I only left with what I had already picked for my son the previous day the incident happened. No, on our way coming back, I still tried as much as possible to call people. So I was able to get through with my uncle. So I called my uncle to inform him and to please help me inform my mom. So I mean that morning, that early morning, the second day while we were going, I tried his line and his line went through. Then I told him to help me tell my mom. So I think he was the one who passed the information across to my own family. By the time we got back from the burial, I had already met a lot of people. No doubt the love was massive. I met a whole lot of people. So unknown to my in-laws, that those that were around then were my family, they didn't know who was who. So part of why I said God used them, they were all saying all sorts of things. all manner of things. In fact, my friends were around that time, and all they said while my friends were there was, when I should come, that when I come back, I should come and pack my stores and take my son, then go away from their house, that I had already brought bad luck to their house. They were all saying all sorts of things. While my mom was there, while my mom's neighbors were around, my mother-in-law were calling the people with me at the burial ground, that they should bring the car while they are coming with all the stuff they are packing, because if they don't carry the car, I will be the one that will be driving the car, because there was a time I drove the car to her house, so they didn't, you understand? So stuff like that, you could know that all what they are after was just material. They were about the material aspect of it. They didn't, yeah, I don't know. So while I was there, the day 1 was Thursday, the day 2 was Friday, then the day 3 was Saturday. I was still there. My mother-in-law would come out in the morning, look into the sky and say all manners of things. Rain curses, that anyone that has caused this should do this, anyone that has, curses that I cannot mention right here on this channel. So she said sorts of things, but lo and behold, me, I have not been given the spirit of fear, but of sound mind. You understand? I've been given the spirit of love and of sound mind. I didn't fret at all. All I was doing was just praying. All I was doing was praying, singing praises within myself. People who came would give me verses of the Bible to read. They were all giving me all sorts. So I think this prayer really helps, because at a point they were doing things they were not supposed to be doing, that people were now texting me that, are you sure these people really are your husband's parents? And I'll tell them, yes they are, but guess what, they were really answering to the instructions of God. If they didn't act that way on time, I would still be with them. I might not even get to where I am today. So on Sunday, my church member came and they explained everything that happened to me on the day of the burial, how he reacted with them. I mean my brother-in-law, how he reacted, the way he was acting, so they had to step back. I said, no problem, that I understand. These people came with nurse and doctor to check myself and my son. They told them I'm fine, that nothing was wrong with me, that nothing was wrong with my son. Meanwhile, I was sick inside. So they didn't allow those people to see me. When those people now saw the way they were also doing, even on Sunday, when people were still trooping in, coming to pay condolence visits, they were still in their attitude, answering to God's instruction. You understand? So these people got to see it again, and they couldn't hold it than to just call me right from where I was in there, that can I please excuse them, that they will need to see me. I went out to see them and they spoke sense into my ear. Someone among them was also a widower, so he was the one that now told me point blank that, Omo, you don't get people, you don't have anybody. As far as I'm concerned, you don't have anybody. But do you know God? I said yes. He said, hold on to your God. Clean your face and stop crying. He was saying it. I understood the place he was saying it, because he had also experienced it, and that was why I am also coming to say my own story, so that somebody else can heal up from this story. Please don't forget to share. Let it get to people who are bereaved, and tell them, if they think all hope is lost for them, tell them to hang in, that there is still hope for them. Yes, I am here. I'm coping with my son. I am coping by God's grace. I am coping. So tell them, let them watch it, and by God's grace we'll all sail through in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you for watching up till this time. If you're still watching, if you're still with me, please don't forget to comment Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to turn up your notification bell so that anytime I post videos, you get notified about it. Above all, please subscribe. Subscribe to this ministry. This is a journey. It is a journey for me. I'm in my purpose. Let us achieve this together. And I hope and believe you are also getting things. You are also receiving inspiration on how to find your own purpose. Thank you once again for tuning in. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.